We got all the wiring stuff figured out. So, just getting all the little details squared away before we can start cutting.
What I'm working on now is all this wiring harness. So because we're doing a roof raise, this wiring harness has to be extended. And since I don't want to extend a bunch of wires I'm not going to use, I'm going to go ahead and remove all the wires that aren't necessary anymore, and then we can rerun our lighting and sound and things like that after we do the roof raise. Today we're going to work on taking out the subfloor, the old plywood floor on the bus, but before we do that we've got to get these heaters out of the way, and I want to route all of the old coolant lines underneath the bus so that they're not inside the bus running through our walls. But to do that, first thing we got to do is drain them. So let's go into the bus.
Okay.
Okay, so to drain the coolant lines, I need to disconnect the line leaving the engine and the line returning from the heaters and get those drained into a bucket. So I'm going to disconnect this line here and this line right here.
Where are you thinking you're gonna go?
Kind of surprised this hose hasn't failed before now.
Why is that? Is it bad?
It's just not a real straight cut.
Oh.
So I'm just breaking free the hose from the fitting without damaging the hose.
Okay.
And then we should be able to just pull it off. what I did, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I turned off this valve here, which looks like it's a way to turn off the passenger compartment heat altogether. So like maybe during the summer when we don't want the heat on in there,
Okay.
we could just turn that off and it'd stop coolant from flowing up to the front of the bus.
Okay.
All right, well, because I only have one fitting off, it's not going to drain very fast because it's not getting air back into itself. So, start working on getting this return line off. Without getting a bunch of dirt in my bucket.
So how much coolant is usually in the lines?
Well, it's 3/4 inch line and it's 40 feet long,
Oh,
so
a fair amount.
it should hold a fair amount. Yeah, I don't think it'll be holding more than 5 gallons, but
Okay.
it'd probably hold a couple gallons. But whether it's all sloped to drain or not,
Oh,
you know, we may have to lift up the heaters. Plus, we've got that little U that goes under the emergency door that's going to trap coolant in it.
okay.
So we're basically just going to find coolant everywhere as we take this apart.
And how do we capture all that?
We just kind of hold the bucket at each place.
Oh, okay.
Each time we disconnect something, we'll try to feed it into the bucket.
Okay.
And trying to get this, ooh, there it is. Trying to get this hose free without stabbing myself.
Oh, yeah. Let's not do stabbings.
Yeah, no stabbing today. Oh, good.
What did she say?
She said it's 9:45 a.m.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Siri. Oh, it's back behind. It's just like coming out of all sorts of areas. Ooh,
Step 1.
cool beans.
We gotta determine our routing for getting it back to the front,
Oh, okay.
and how much of the old hose we can reuse, and how many miles of new hose we need to buy.
What you doing, Snow? Snow? One second.
Okay, so it goes up into the cab here,
Okay.
and then what? It
Okay,
comes
Snow.
down at the emergency door,
Okay.
right?
Oh, yes.
All right, so I got to take off these screws here. This is the heater hose pass through that goes down underneath the side emergency exit door. So I got to take off this cover so I can get access to the hoses. Okay. All right, so we got the little bypass where it drops under the emergency door unhooked, and so far we've got about 4 gallons of organic grease collected.
Yeah.